Hello geeks and gamers, Matt Lemke here with Through Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. Today we have another flip through for you. This flip through is of the Pathfinder campaign settings, Inner Sea Bestiary. One thing you might want to note is that this book uses the symbols that they have been developing for all their bestiaries. If you do not find the rules for any of their symbols here, you can look in the most recent bestiary, which at this point in time I believe is Bestiary 3. It should have all the symbols and logos that you need that are up to date. Or you can use paizo.com/PRD for the additional information you need to use this book. Now, the Inner Sea Bestiary is pretty cool because the very first thing that you should know about it is everything in this book is unique to the Inner Sea setting, and all of these creatures are new to the fantasy game for Pathfinder with the Paizo flair that the developers have brought you. Some of the neat things that they did in this book, well, we can back up and start talking right into it already about some of the stuff on page 1. They have an android. Android is one of the 5 0-hit die creatures in this book. We have android. We have the Goron, which the book is alphabetical. We have the Goron, which is a plant race. Then we have the Goblin Monkey over a page, that's probably my favorite picture. Something about a goblin with a kukri type weapon is just really scary. Especially those teeth. That's not your typical goblin. And, the tail. I mean, what can they do with that tail? Then you turn over a few more pages and you get to the La Junta, which is a interesting race. We'll leave it at that without spoiling it too much. And then the last one is the Cyrix, which is back here. Oops, I spoiled a little bit there for you. SPY, which is the Cyrix, which is they kind of look like an owl angelic type of creature. But some of the things that are also really important to the book, well, before we jump into more of the book, let's talk a little bit about their 0-hit die template. The 0-hit die template in the book is broke up really 2 ways. You have the basic template for being a creature, and then you have the template for what you would use if you were making it as a player character as well. So you get your basics over here, and then you have to still do everything like it would be a player character and assign things, but then you have it over here, which makes it real easy, in my opinion, to go ahead and make player characters of these 5 races. The other thing that's important is this template, the templates for the 0-hit die creatures, use the Chapter 4 of the Advanced Race Guide, which is a really great chapter. If you haven't picked up the Advanced Race Guide, it makes building races for any role-playing game easy. A couple of the other things that are pretty important, or not necessarily important, but neat to know about this book is a lot of the designers and lead people at Paizo did a lot of the creation of this book. For example, the Blighted Fae was created by one of the particular developers, which is they give you all this information in the introduction. Jim Grooves, for example, created the Blighted Fae. Even an ever the fan of demons, James Jacobs, gave us the Night Ripper, which is actually one of my favorite looking creatures in the book. And then under Sandpoint campaign, Veiled Master of Halls, Eric Mona's Kings of Absalon. There's some creatures in here from that. But what's really unique is, well, we already talked about the 0-level hit die. Eric Mona created the Goron, or Goron. I'm not sure if the H is silent or not. But again, getting back into it, everything in this book is unique to the Inner Sea. Everything was created specifically for that with the Paizo twist. So if you're a big Inner Sea fan, this book is really for you. It's throwing me for a little bit of a loop because there are a lot of high-powered CR creatures in this game. Oh, here you go. Here's the Night Ripper. I just can't wait to send a party up against one of these, but it's a CR24, so it's going to take my players a little bit to get there. But something I wanted to show you that I just thought was cool because I haven't really seen it yet is the Shadow Giant. One cool thing about the Shadow Giant is they're very militant. They actually have the militant feat, which gives them proficiency with one exotic weapon, all martial weapons, and simple weapons. So, you know, the more I look at the book, the more I want to delve into it. I haven't used too much of it. I actually want to play a Goblin Monkey as my next character. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I kind of want to make him a monk, which probably is not a good idea. Or maybe a martial type of rogue where he focuses more on combat than some of the other things. And give him dual weapon fighting. I think that would rock. But moving through here, we have the robots, which I think is kind of a neat idea. I really have to play around with it a little bit more. I like my fantasy games to be fantasy games. But I think they did a good job, and I don't want to spoil the things with the Numerian technology too much, so I'm not going to get into too much detail about it yet. The other thing that they did was they introduced the race of... See, I took all my little Post-its out of here, and, well, we'll go up front to the table of contents real quick. To the... Well, they have the spawn of Rovavug, which is... If you're into the goblins and the orcs, that's really kind of cool for you. I was writing some fiction that would have been handy information for me. But they introduced the psychopomps on page 38. I mean, I guess it's not really an introduction because I'm sure they've appeared somewhere else in print. This just gives you everything in one place. But they really kind of set the tone in the book, in my opinion, when they say, all life has its beginning and end. From the moment of birth, everything that shrieks and struggles upon the material plane crawls toward a singular finale, that fatal climax that grants passage into the river of souls in unimaginable infinities of the afterlife. So, from that statement alone, I kind of get the impression that these are both good, evil, and neutral beings. If you look at quote-unquote alignments in that way. Not everybody likes to do that, but they're kind of like guardians / guides / grim reapers, maybe. And I read enough about it that I didn't really look too much at the creatures because they look scary, and I'm not really ready to deal with them all yet in my campaign that I'm sending my children through. But for example, this one's only a CR4. He's not too far away. Psychopomp Vidius. Vidius occupy libraries and scriptoriums located in the Ferocimos Spire. They record every soul's death, ultimate fate upon the plains, and vidus. It would be a cool NPC, if nothing else. I mean, you know? And, you know, you have basically, like here, it's a neutral, medium, outsider, extra planner, psychopomp. And then over here you have the Shoki, which looks like another student type of thing. They're collectors of lingering souls. So they have a lot to do with souls. They could be so cool to add flavor to pretty much any campaign. They could be out of their element even. I don't even want to get into the spawn of Rovavug. The picture really can't do it justice because this is a colossal magical beast. And, well, it's a CR23. That's pretty tough in itself. And then you have the Beholder from Hell, or Hades, however you wish to say it. It's just, the book is pretty impressive. It is only 63 pages, but some of the things that are in it are just so unique. If you are a diehard Pathfinder player, this is a pretty good book for you to get if you've been playing the Inner Seas. It is, well, obviously you can look at the art, you can look at the layout. You know, they have the alphabetical listing in the front for you. They have a reference for the things that you need. Well, let's look at page 83 real quick. because I bypassed it. 83. I said 83? Oh, my bad. These are the reference pages for you to use. The books that it uses are the Advanced Player's Guide, the Advanced Race Guide, the Bestiary 1, 2, and 3. It uses the Inner Sea World Guide, Ultimate Combat, and Ultimate Magic. And it gives you the reference pages for some of these things. Like for the Bestiary 3 is on B3. Or you can always, again, it refers you right to the Paizo.com PRD. So, that is a flip through of the Inner Sea Bestiary from Pathfinder for the campaign setting that they have created. And if you are big into their campaign setting and you don't make your own worlds, it's well worth the investment. It has a lot of flavor to it, and it is all stuff that is unique to the Pathfinder world. And you can tell that they really got into some of this stuff. Like the Blighted Fae takes up 2 pages of the book, whereas most of the beasts in the book take 1 or 2 pages. And the things that were important to them, they took up more space. So, Matt Lemke with Through Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. If you like this video or any of our videos, please click on the social media links on the right-hand side of your screen to follow us and keep up with our updates. Thank you. Have a good day.